What's up, everybody? It's Josh coming at you from Nerd Ventures Tower. There's hope and good news out there for Snyder Cut fans. I haven't done a Snyder Cut video or really DC videos in general for a long time. I talked about this on my live stream earlier today, so I first want to play you a clip from that live stream that summarizes what I'm talking about, and I give a big take on why I think you can just never count the Snyder Cut fandom out. But then stay till after the clip as well, because I want to give a summary after you know what I'm talking about as sort of like how I feel about DC moving forward. I don't know if you guys saw this. This came from Grace Randolph, and I believe it was Friday. It could have been Saturday. I think it was Friday. I mean, the tweet kind of like says it all. She follows up on it, and I've got a ton of stuff to say about it. But she says right here, "You crazy Snyder-Verse fans, how you managed to stay alive is incredible," with the fire emoji. "I now hear Batfleck does not die in the Flash after all. At least not in the most recent cut. June 2023 and a Discovery merger is a long path indeed. We'll see what happens." And she puts a Batfleck gif in the tweet. This obviously caused a wave of positivity, but also trying to throw cold water on it, from other people. I think Casey Walsh came out and said, like, "I don't know about that, fam." And then just for clarity's sake, we'll back up here and we'll see like kind of what she followed us up on. She says, "I am not going to ruin the Flash movie," which seems awesome, by the way. "Michael Keaton is still the new Batman. The door is left open for Batfleck to return at some point, maybe. Still no Henry Cavill. And again, this is as of now. The movie is over a year away." Man, there's a lot to get into on this, okay? I feel compelled to remind everybody of the story of the Snyder Cut, because you got to understand, look, there's a lot of people out there right now that are saying, get over it, let it go, it'll never happen, say goodbye. Snyder's never coming back. Affleck doesn't want to do this, etc., etc. But the problem with saying all of that is that for 2 years, the narrative from many people out there, there's beautiful supercuts of all of these different personalities, influencers, and people saying it'll never happen, it's a pipe dream, there is no Snyder Cut. Those ones are my favorite. There is no Snyder Cut, etc., etc. 2 years of that shit, and then they all ate crow. All of them, bro. All of them. The Snyder Cut was a phenomenon, and it defied conventional wisdom. The fan base around Zack, so galvanized at this thing being a possibility and this thing coming to life, they did stuff that's unprecedented. We've never seen shit like this. Did you know that in the pitch that Zack had with Warner Brothers, he told them, and it's straight facts, that the most tweeted about movie you've ever had, Warner Brothers, is a movie that you never made, my cut of the Justice League. And it's true. It became this crazy windfall of a thing. And so when you say things like it'll never happen, let it go, Pattinson, hockey pad, Moody, Bruce for life, all of these sort of things, you just can't keep a good Snyder fan down. They will never, ever, ever let it go. Because why would they? They're the Snyder fans. They made the impossible happen once, and they're going to keep trying to make the impossible happen into the future. Now, I will admit that for me personally, I backed away from covering a lot of this stuff. I felt very butthurt about the leaks that came out about The Flash, which basically entailed two main things: that the Snyder-Verse was going to be, erased, and that those movies will have never happened now, and also that Ben Affleck's Batman would die. Affleck's Batman dying, a big problem, because, again, the narrative around that feels like Warner Bros. Is trying to say to you, it will never happen. It will never, ever happen. When Grace said last week, or maybe it was a week before this, that the delay of the Flash movie and the looming Discovery merger kept some interesting possibilities out there, and then now when you see that she is tweeting this kind of stuff, to me what it implies is that there's a big group of people, or at least a vocal group of people, even within Warner Brothers and perhaps within Discovery Warner Brothers, that understands that the Snyder Cut is a huge opportunity. And how could they not? I think one of the things that's been so damn frustrating for fans is that it's obvious, bro. It's obvious. The thing will trend even now with no information. The thing will just pop up and trend randomly because they're organized and they don't want you to forget that they exist. Now, does it sort of go into some toxic places? Does it get a little crazy sometimes? Yeah, for sure. I mean, like all fandoms have that. Snyder Bros no different, and it's a big fandom, so you're gonna have some bad apples, right? Of course. But by and large, I think when you combine how motivated and how galvanized that fan base is, how big the Snyder Cut actually was, the fact that you've got the Discovery Warner merger on the horizon, hopefully, as some of you have said, that they will figure this out and they can move forward with The Flash, do the Michael Keaton Batman thing, but leave that universe intact. Leave Zack's stuff intact. Allow the possibility, the idea of these actors coming back. Now, when it comes to Henry Cavill, that's a really interesting one because Grace says no Henry Cavill in the movie. She's also said that he is in the movie using our archival footage. But we talked about this in the past as well. There's a dude that worked on this movie that claims Cavill's in it. And we know now, because somebody doxed him, that he legitimately does work and did work on the Flash movie. And so right now, DC is in this weird spot where, yet again, the leadership is about to change, right? And we don't know what it's going to look like after that. We don't know how it's going to shake out. But I think the best case scenario for DC fans would be that universe exists if someday when Zack's done making Rebel Moon the massive sci-fi franchise that I think it will be, he might actually end up coming back. Never say never. It's funny to me that people will say Ben will never come back when he literally came back to shoot stuff for Snyder Cut and to shoot for The Flash. And we're talking about Michael Keaton being the main Batman. Like, how can you say, oh, he's done forever, when Michael fucking Keaton, 9 million years old, comes back to play Batman? Do you think that he thought he'd ever come back to play Batman? Do you think he'd ever thought he'd come back and be Batman for more than one movie and put the franchise on his back? I don't think so. And so that's the updates. That's the news. Frankly, guys, what it comes down to is there's still hope. You know, there's still hope for that and for that fan base. And if Warner Brothers were smart, they would keep that hope alive. There is zero reason to shit on, close off the opportunities, possibilities of the Snyder-Verse because you have so many Snyder fans. How many people loved Zack Snyder stuff that also liked Matt Reeves stuff? I'm one of those people. You know, I clown on the Reeves stuff. I like the movie. If DC was smart, don't divide your fan base. Don't pull a Star Wars on us. Give all the toys to all the different fans in the room. And frankly, according to Grace, and it kind of seems like that could be on the table. So I'm real curious what you guys think about that. I'm sure there'll be some questions about that. And, definitely let me know what you think. So I guess the main thing that I want to get across to everybody is that there's a way forward for DC that I think would bring just the maximum amount of fans together to celebrate the stories and the content that they're going to make. And they are going to have Flash, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, maybe Superman, if they can work it out, from Snyder's Justice League, in the DCEU moving forward. The big difference is going to be Batman with Keaton, and maybe there'll be some other differences as well. It's really too early to tell how that's all going to shake out and what that's going to mean. But I just think for me, ultimately, we might not get fully fledged Snyder-Verse back. We might not ever get Zack to come back, although I think down the road that is absolutely a real possibility. Maybe they just have that universe intact somewhere else and cover it in the comic books or something like that. I think all we need is for that to exist out there in the multiverse, for it to still have value, and for some of those beats to have still informed the characters that we have in the current DCEU. And that's going to be probably enough for a lot of fans to be excited and come back. Now, in a perfect world, like you could do Batfleck stuff. Like if you could convince Ben to actually come back after all of this craziness, and I think maybe you can because I mean, like just like what happened with Tom Brady, like sometimes you're out and then you're back in, right? So I just think there's hope. I just think keep it going. I just think if you're a Snyder fan, like keep on pushing for this. Try not to be toxic, but keep on pushing for it. And yeah, I think that we can make this happen. And by the way, if you like the clip and you want to come by and watch, takes and fun conversations like that live, come on by the live streaming channel. We stream Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday at 10:30 in the morning. It's a good time. And yeah, we talked about this as a community after I broke down the facts. So yeah, good stuff. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.